When Polaris signed off on our first trip to Europe, the questions were endless. Where do we start? Where do we go? Didn't take long for us to focus on France. Who wouldn't want to ride in the French Alps? Turns out, France just happens to be the main hub for Polaris in Europe. So before we hopped on an ATV, we stopped by their office to meet and greet our new European friends. So Eric, this is Polaris France, huh?
Yes, Gerard, welcome to Polaris France.
It's a fairly small place, but what do you guys have here? Some office buildings, some warehouse, what do you have?
Well, I invite you to go for a tour if you like.
All right, let's go.
Yeah? So this is the chalet, head office of Polaris France.
Polaris France is just a stone's throw away from the world-famous ski resort of Chamonix and the French Alps.
8 years ago, we decided to build the roof and to make it the office.
Nice. So what do you guys have inside here?
So this is the sales and marketing office, where we decide basically what's going to happen for the networks.
Nice. And this is the snowmobile you take out in the wintertime?
That's the vintage one, you know, from the 70s. It's always good to keep up with the Polaris spirit.
Yes. Eric Coleman is the country manager here. He explains how Polaris France has expanded over the past 10 years. Eric, what are we looking at here?
We're looking at the French map where we have all the dealers. Polaris France is located here.
How many dealers do you guys have in France right now?
Above 130.
Nice.
And each orange circle that you see represent a place where we have to find one more dealer.
So you're looking to get another
150.
A decade ago, Polaris had little to no market share or influence in France. They sold 300 snowmobiles and ATVs combined. But since then, things have changed dramatically.
Yeah, since then, we grow the international business with Polaris, with more subsidiaries in Europe, Germany, UK, Sweden, Norway, Spain, and we have also some subsidiaries in Australia and New Zealand.
The team is really proud of what they did, which is good. So yes, we are happy, we are proud, but we also know that it's not the end.
It's certainly not. Growth happened so quickly that guys like Manu and Renee decided to share the fun. About 5 years ago, they hatched a plan to spread the Polaris love to riders who lived in France with an event called Polaris Camp.
We started with that idea to get all our customers and club members here in the middle of nowhere to just have fun during a great weekend.
Polaris Camp features just about everything an off-road rider would love. Great riding trails, a chance to test out new machines, racing, and a tour through the French countryside.
Probably the best event in France and in Europe for ATV and side-by-side fans.
All the planning for Polaris Camp happens here at Polaris France. A tour around the place doesn't take long, but you get the feel the dozen or so people working here are pretty busy.
So now we're going to the warehouse.
It's a busy place, huh?
Very busy place, that's where things are happening. We receive 2 trucks a day, put it back in a rack. We do France and sometimes we also deliver to Spain.
We have new emergent market in the eastern part of Europe. Russia is a big market for the future.
The immediate future is already here. In January 2011, they opened European headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland.
We have to organize ourselves into what we call EMEA, Europe, Middle East and Africa. This branch is going to manage the whole context.
What's in store for the next 10 years of Polaris France? We'll see. For now, though, they will do what they've always done, and that's ride. It's not every day you get a chance to go to Europe. So when Polaris said we could check out how they do things Euro style, we couldn't refuse. We packed our bags and headed to Central France and Polaris Camp. Polaris Camp looks and feels like a lot of other big events around the U.S., with one major exception. We don't speak any French. Yeah, what he said. Fortunately for us, ATVs are a universal language. Now in its 5th year, Polaris Camp is the #1 event in Europe.
We are refusing almost 200 riders every year.
To find it, you'll need to visit the town of Ragades, located in central France.
It's very unique to have almost 600, 650 vehicles coming from only one brand.
So what happens at Polaris Camp? Well, let's take a look around. One of the more popular spots? This demo track.
They are going to ride Model Year 11 Ranger, Model Year 11 ATVs.
So far, the first feedback we're having is great. Most of them say, well, I would like to change. And when you have customers saying, you know, the new product is better than the one before, you feel very proud.
I think it's a key factor of the event because, you know, they ride it before the French press, even sometime before some people from Polaris France.
Take a quick spin around the demo track and drop in on the big top. Here, you can check out some more machines, try on merchandise. You might even bump into some riders from Spain and Italy.
Yes, I work for Polaris in Spain.
Miriam brought nearly 20 people with her from Spain to experience Polaris Camp for the first time.
Because everyone in Germany, in Scandinavia, everyone's talking about Polaris Camp in France. So I decided more people from Spain, from our dealers, should see that in order to emulate what they are doing here and one day be able to do something like that in Spain.
Getting hungry? Head outside to the local farmers market. Lots of good stuff to eat here. Fresh fruit from local farms and other cuisine, if that's your thing. With a full stomach, it's time to ride again. Polaris Camp organizers set up a super tight track around the property.
The 4-hour loop, a bit technical so the customer can remember and be proud of having finishing this ride.
And it's going into the forest in order to be in the dark and not to have too much dust. You really have to put your 4x4 on and go up, and then you go down. And so you don't need to go fast, and that's not the purpose of this.
Day 2 of Polaris Camp begins with a chilly morning, but things should heat up quickly. The plan? Head out on an all-day ride through the French countryside.
It's what we would call a touristic ride. We have 2 groups of 30 ATVs and Ranger going out in the countryside just to visit some very typical place, point of interest, stopping in very nice restaurants.
So we've come to our first stop of the day, and as you can see, our group that we're traveling with is fairly large, but there's a reason why we stopped here. Check out the view. Absolutely spectacular. We're in the middle of the French countryside, and it's amazing. Let's go to our next spot. Here's one thing you won't find in the States very often. Got to keep your wits about you on some of these trails. You got barbed wire right here on the left, and on your right, electric fence. One wrong move and you're either into the barbed wire or you're going to get a pretty nasty shock. So we've come to our second stop on our tour here, and apparently everyone's headed up to the little church up there on top of the hill. No idea what it's about, so let's go check it out. So it looked like a church from down below is actually a place where you can light a candle or maybe leave some flowers, or most people on our trip are just up here to check out the view. All right, we're out of here. Time for some more French fun. People are proud to be at Polaris Camp. This gentleman here is showing us his Polaris Camp #3 shirt. This is Polaris Camp 5, but he's obviously been here a couple times before. You excited?
Si.
Si. That's not even French, that's like Spanish. But nobody on our trip speaks any English, so we'll go with some Spanish. Si?
Si.
All right, very cool. So after about 3 or 4 hours of riding, we finally stopped for lunch. I really don't know where we're at, but this must be an ATV-friendly place. The sign here says Rangers and Quads. Good enough for us. Let's go eat. Certainly isn't your typical ATV mid-ride lunch. I'm not sure what it is, but it tastes really good. So lunch here at the Alley Star was très bien, but now it's time to continue on our journey. I think we're all loaded up and we're ready to get out of here. Time to head back to Polaris Camp and catch the big finish.
In US, you guys, you have the GNCC. In France, we have Enduro. The same type of race in the woods, in the rocks, very technical. We have 2 events during the year, and here at Polaris Camp we got the finals.
Wrap things up with a trophy presentation. And it's time to party. Polaris Camp. Au revoir, France.
So we will start on this side and we will finish on the other side. And all along the way we'll see the Alp chains on the background. We're gonna have a great day, nice weather. Enjoy.
A sunny day riding ATVs in the French Alps. This day is not gonna suck one bit.
You guys are pretty lucky, man. It's right here.
The Valley of Chamonix is located in eastern France near the borders of Italy and Switzerland. Nearest big city, Geneva, only about an hour away. Our plan to leave from the Polaris France offices, which sit in the Chamonix Valley.
We don't have a lot of Americans coming around, so I hope that you will enjoy. Let's go, guys.
A trip through the French Alps isn't like your normal ATV journey. Typically, you want to burn some miles. That's so hard to do here.
I'm stopping to take pictures because the view is just stupid. That's gonna happen a lot today.
For sure, when we come around the corner and we have this great view of the Alps chains, it's really amazing because we have 12 peaks at over 4,000 meters.
If the weather is good, you're going to see glaciers, you're going to see a different vegetation, and yes, a more challenging terrain.
It's really amazing. The first time you see that, you are kind of impressed. For us, we are living here since ever, so it's always a pleasure, but it's not as surprising as it's for you.
After a few more stops, we reach our first spot, a locals-only place called Green Lake. We stop for a quick snack. They like to do that here in France.
Yeah, like you're making it hard on us because we could stop
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Not far from Green Lake, we ran into this amazing lookout. Not a bad place to jump with the Alps as your background. I'm not that brave, so I think we'll stick to the ground. Getting around the Alps isn't as hard as you would think. Just go from ski slope to ski slope.
So we can go from one valley to another, from one ski resort to another, using all the trail system.
Simply follow the signs.
We have trails everywhere, in the forest, on the top of many mountains. It's very well organized. I would say if you get a good map or a GPS with the right points, you can do it on your own.
Check out the valley below. Down there, somewhere, is Polaris France headquarters. We made our way around the backside of the slopes to get a better view of Mont Blanc, the tallest point in all of Europe.
The view is so nice. Everything, the flowers, the animals, the trees.
I like to see glaciers and all white things at the top, yeah.
We could have rode for hours, but heck, it's time for lunch, and in this region, the choices are endless. Cheese, cheese, and more cheese. If you don't get your fill of cheese in France, then you never will. After a healthy bit of fromage, we got back on the trail where we bumped into something you don't see every day in the States.
All right, so it looks like we've been held up by a bunch of bulls. Oh, it's the running of the bulls in France. I thought it was just in Spain, but apparently not. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to move real soon.
Those bulls are kind of fighting bulls.
Dude, we're out of here. Catch you next time, bulls. And just like that, the clouds moved in and the mountains disappeared.
Tomorrow it's gonna rain, so I guess that we've been very lucky today.
We finished off our ride, but we're not done with this adventure just yet. No ATV journey would be complete without a visit to the world-famous ski resort of Chamonix, Mont Blanc. The small town is surrounded by massive peaks and caters to those who love anything outdoors. Skiing, hiking, climbing, anything extreme takes place in Chamonix.
People are traveling in France for visiting Paris and the Mont Saint-Michel, the French Riviera, but most of them they are coming in the area because it's very famous for all these outdoor activities and for the view.
It's also famous for another reason.
The first Winter Olympics were in Chamonix in 1924.
Chamonix, Albertville, Turin all hosted the Olympics, and all three are a short distance away. In fact, just down the road is the town of Andersen, and they're a finalist for the 2018 Winter Olympics.
It's a very unique place in Europe.
The real adventure, though, doesn't take place anywhere near the shops. To find out what these mountains are all about, you need to head into the clouds. Just to give you a quick idea of where we're headed, here's Chamonix Mont Blanc. We'll go about halfway up and then right to the top, take the elevator, and from there you can see France, Italy, and maybe even Switzerland. Through the fog. Hopefully it's clear at the top. So we're just at the halfway point here. We get out, get in another gondola, and then ride to the top. When they sold us the tickets, they said it was clear at the top. I'm so glad that this is not the top.
It was cool when we popped through the clouds, like everyone on the train went at the same time.
All right, so we're on the catwalk, and they were not lying. It is clear up here. Take a look for yourself. Well, we're at the top of Europe. Mont Blanc to my left, the French Alps behind me. This is what Destination Polaris is all about.
On this trip, we chose to ride in the south of France. Located just 1 hour north of the city of Marseille, you'll find the small town of Manosque. We've teamed up with Simon Penz of Polaris France and Polaris dealer Eric Carlini. Eric owns one of the most well-known places to ride in all of France.
This is a very famous place because all the famous magazines come here.
And they come for good reason. Not just for the top-notch ride, but Eric's got a pretty slick setup. Plenty of rooms to stay, you can lounge by the pool, and tour the local vineyards. Anything you need, you can find at Eric's.
You are very lucky because it's one of the best places to ride in France. It's a very nice resort for people. People come here to relax and play.
Now, if you've never heard of Eric Carlini, do a quick Google search. The guy is one serious off-road rider.
He's a very good rider, very good technical rider.
Now that you've got a lay of the land and know a little bit about Eric, it's time to hit the trails.
You ready to go ride?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
On a crystal clear day, we roll right onto the trail from Eric's backyard.
Today we're going to the highest mountain of the resort, where we will have the best view.
The ride starts with just a nice easy spin through the countryside and local vineyards. Try finding a place like this in the States.
You have easy and technical parts. It's cool for beginners. They can ride without technical parts.
It's totally different. It's drier, more open space. Sun can be very hot during the summer.
Near the top of one of the vineyards, we stopped to check out the view. Not bad, huh?
Simon and Eric just told me that that mountain you can see back there in the distance doesn't look very big from here, but it's 3,000 meters, and that's the backside of Nice, near Monaco, Cannes, those type of places. Pretty unbelievable.
We cruised around for a bit more and stopped for lunch.
What's for lunch?
Alors, for lunch,
Yeah, for lunch.
naan,
Banana,
ham,
ham,
jambon,
jambon,
ham,
ham,
cru, ham cru,
ham cru,
cru, cuit, cru,
cru cuit.
ouais.
Ah.
Saucisson.
Sausage,
Yeah, saucisson.
cheese,
Cheese, yeah. Potatoes.
yeah, potatoes.
yeah.
ATV trips like this should be so hard. French countryside, vineyards, sunny days, mountains. Tough times here in the south of France.
This is life.
We've teamed up with Simon Penz of Polaris France and host Eric Carlini for a day on his property.
There are There's a very unique trails around with vineyards, old buildings.
You can come with your ATV and have a ride, or rent an ATV or a Ranger. Eric is one of the best riders in France.
So far, we've seen a good amount of terrain, but now it's time for a view from the top.
All right, follow you. Oh, look at this guy. He's working out, man.
Make your way to the highest peak in the area and check out this cool map that tells you all about the surrounding mountains.
You can see Marseille from this point.
From this point here.
Yeah.
And what's this one right here, Simon?
This is the highest step in the Tour de France.
And it's straight that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and behind the Saudi and gosh.
That's a steep climb.
Just beyond there, you'll find the most famous cities in all of Europe: Cannes, Saint-Tropez, Nice. And get this, you can ride your ATV right from Eric's place to the French Riviera.
Yes, you can ride your ATV the whole way from his place down to Saint-Tropez. It's a long ride, it can probably take you 1 day and a half.
That would be pretty sweet, but unfortunately, we don't have that kind of time. We're going to get there a little faster. Okay, Simon, Saint-Tropez.
Let's go.
Let's go. Simon's going to play tour guide today, and we're going to make the 2-hour drive to Saint-Tropez. You can't travel this far south of France and not go to the Riviera.
So about an hour or so from Eric's place, you'll find one of the greatest outdoor playgrounds in the south of France right here at the Gorge de Verdun.
The gorge has it all: hiking, biking, climbing, rafting, kayaking, you name it, you can do it at the gorge.
So I was thinking about a cannonball or a jackknife, and then I saw the sign, no diving.
Boy, we'd love to stay, but it's time to visit the big city.
Well, we made it to Saint-Tropez, a vacation playground for the rich and famous. Look at some of these boats. It's ridiculous. This is where Jay-Z, Beyonce, George Clooney come for vacation. And of course us, Destination Polaris.
So there you have it, the south of France, the history, the riding, the mountains, and the beaches. What an amazing trip. I guess it's time to pack our suitcase and go home.